Welcome back, people of the internet. My name is DargonEvo, and we're coming at y'all with another figure review. Today, I got my hands on the San Diego Comic-Con 1989 Godzilla Special Edition, which, if you were not aware, features these beautiful, translucent blue dorsal fins. I never got the original release, so I'm very excited to get my hands on him. And this figure in particular has a very special quirk about it that I will get into. But we're gonna unbox this guy, show you what he's all about. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So firstly, we have the brown cardboard that he was shipped in, but we're just gonna pull him out. He's in this nice plastic bag, ensuring that he's not infected by any dirt. You just pull him out. Oh, so clean. This box art right here is absolutely beautiful. We can get a nice little sneak peek of what he looks like on the back of the box. We're gonna free him from this cardboard prison. We have his clamshell. He comes very well protected in here. Even if the box got crushed and stepped on, he would probably be okay. And pulling this apart, you get a nice look at him now. Which I don't know how fully repainted this guy is, but actually like pulling him out and getting a good look at him, the detail in this figure is absolutely impeccable. It's about what you would expect from S.H.Monsterarts. All of their Heisei and Showa era figures are normally spot on. It's sad to see their Monsterverse figures suffer, but this guy is absolutely glorious. First impressions with those translucent dorsal fins, looking beautiful as ever. These aren't exactly like the 2014 Spitfire, which matter of fact, I have him right here. These are translucent, but they're painted and molded a lot different than these. Here we can see that there is like a metallic painted underneath them, and then when they actually place the dorsals on his back independently, because that's how these figures are made, they just molded them in a translucent material. And then I don't know how well y'all can see it on cam, but this is under a black UV light. I don't know if that makes it worse, but they do give off a nice blue glow. This is definitely one of those figures that looks good in almost any pose you throw him in. He'll make a good display piece, or hell, he could even be your centerpiece in your collection with how vibrant those spines are. Before we get further into the review, why have an atomic Godzilla with no atomic breath effect? If you want one of these for yourself, I'll post a link in the description. I have a buddy of mine who makes these. These things look amazing. Plenty to choose from. I'm sure you'll find something to your liking. From Space Godzilla crystals to Kiryu missile effects, he has it all. With all of that out of the way, we already took a little bit of a sneak peek at his detailed paint. Going over it more, we have some gloriously painted eyes, some more magnificent mouth detail. Just love to see it. This has one of the better jaw hinges out of the Heisei era Godzillas. The head sculpt itself looks very nice. This is while the Heisei Godzilla still looked kind of mean, or he started looking a little more cat-like in like the 93 movie. His dorsals start off white, and then they transition into that blue, and then they transition back into that whitish gray. And then we have some pretty standard detail down the tail. Looks pretty dang good. The entire body is casted and painted in this nice charcoal with a little bit of a hint black in the chest creases. And then our fingernails have some nice two-tone to them. Can't complain about that at all. I don't see any quality control issues on him, except for, wait for it. So to explain a little bit more about that quirk I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So we got Peg Leg Godzilla right here. He's just gonna post up. Looking at the ball joint of his foot, we can see that it's partially chipped, which causes this to pop off whenever you try to pivot the ankle too much. It holds on pretty dang well. It's held up through the entirety of the video so far, and you just gotta pop that back on and it's good as new. Because of that, I was able to get this guy for $77. If you want one for yourself, you can pre-order him on Premium Bandai right now. I'll post a link for that down in the description. I believe he's starting at like $105, and he'll be releasing in January of 2025. Other than that ankle, that's the only quality control issue I've had with this dude. It doesn't affect the figure at all. I don't even know how something like that gets chipped. Starting with his articulation, he has that fabulous ball joint in his jaw. In his head, we have, I'll just yank this off so y'all can see. We have this 2-tier ball joint system that lets you get a look at the animatronic inner guts. You just slide this on, like so. And then you take this Godzilla sandwich right here, and you just stick him on there. And he's good as new. So unlike the 94 Godzilla, you can't make him look up, but you can get him to look all the way down, which is pretty cool. That's about as far as you're gonna get as up with this guy. And before we look at his arms, his abdomen is just this pivot joint. Just lets you get that rocking motion. So tilting him all the way forward, we can kind of make him look like Godzilla Jr. just a little bit. For that shoulder, we have some sort of ball joint. Okay, I just popped it off. But yeah, we have this. And then we have another ball joint for his elbow, which is pretty nice. It's pretty solid. It doesn't feel super fragile or anything. Always be careful with these guys, though. And that will let you get some rotation in 2 aspects. And then he has that arm crunch. And then he's got that forearm sleeve, which you can see another ball joint because I keep popping this guy off. And then these are asymmetrical arms, so you're going to have the exact same thing on both sides, unlike the MonsterVerse Godzillas. Something I just noticed about his waist is that you have this very nasty clicking, which allows him to rotate ever so slightly. You can also pivot side to side. So this is some sort of ball joint gimmick, but that will allow you to get some nice curves out of this Godzilla. And then moving down into his hips, we have these sleeves, which look kind of weird, to be honest. They're okay, they're just some S.H.Monsterarts things. But that goes into his thighs, and for demonstration, y'all know what those knees look like. But so we have these knee joints, which is like a hinge, and then we have these double ball joints, and then you'll have this sleeve that's just gonna slide over that like so, and once again you just pop that foot back on, one way or another. Before I get cussed out at in the comments for not showing this, this is how long his tail is. It is pretty darn long, if you can't tell, and it's got amazing flexibility. You'll be able to get all kinds of loops out of it, do some really cool stuff. This guy is going to be able to pull off pretty much any pose you want out of him. I underestimated those covers on his hips, for they make his legs blend so well. This has to be one of the most dynamic Heisei era Godzillas that S.H.Monsterarts has put out. Starting off with the comparisons, I want to showcase the 1989 NECA figure. So these guys are the same. The NECA figure comes with an atomic breath piece, ironically, even though his dorsal fins are not blue. But he does look pretty good. He was one of my favorites for a while. But the S.H.Monsterarts is just so much more accurate to the movie. The NECA has a lot of bulk to it, and his tail can straighten out, but it doesn't look as good as this thing right here. The NECA still allows you to get some loops and some other nice angles out of it. And back in the day, the NECA was definitely the much cheaper option, but you can't go wrong with either one of these guys. Now for a little bit of a size comparison. This is Mr. 89 next to the 2014 Spitfire Godzilla from the S.H.Monsterarts line. Then here we have Mechagodzilla from the 2021 Godzilla vs. Kong film. He himself really shocked me in his bulk. He really dwarfs any figure you put him next to. And while I have him next to me, here is Mogira. And real quick, we have Mechagodzilla 2, looking as silver as ever. I think this is a very nice matchup indeed. These guys look great together. And then last but not least, we have Space Godzilla, who comes in dwarfing the 89 Godzilla. For being a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive special edition, I think this figure is worth every penny. Sometimes with these releases, they seem kind of like a cash grab. They're just kind of lazy. And I'm looking at the 2019 special color version San Diego Comic-Con Godzilla. Yeah, the all blue one. But this thing has earned a name for itself and definitely deserves a place in anyone's collection. Definitely let me know what you think of this guy down in the comments. I am thoroughly impressed with him. If I had to give him a rating, he would be a solid 9 out of 10. For the lack of flaws and the excellent paint application. The only reason I have to deduct maybe 1 point is for the stiff articulation. He still manages to be pretty fluid and dynamic, and you should be able to get anything that you want out of him. And with that, if you found yourself watching up to this point, I appreciate you watching. A like tremendously helps out the channel, and don't forget to comment your opinion down below. My name's DargonEvo, and as always, have an amazing day.